All right, what's up everybody? Back here with another Q&A from subscriber Abu Nasara Desquines. I did the video on baking soda for him. Now he wants me to do the video on dry fasting. He said he dry fasts, I believe, like 22 hours a day or whatever. So I've been researching in it here, and all links will be down below, articles I'm pulling from and stuff. A lot of these things are citing studies as well, so you know, it's just not me randomly voicing my opinion or anything. I'm just not pulling from random, I'm kind of pulling from random articles, but the ones I'm pulling from have studies and stuff, and I'm, you know, looking through a bunch of them. So pulled out what I think is the best stuff. First off, a pretty interesting one is from the Ben Greenfield Fitness podcast. I'll pop this first link in the bio. You can skip to like 50 minutes in, and then the guy he's interviewing starts talking about his experiment and when he started dry fasting, the benefits he's seeing, how it's helping him, things like that, and how he did it. And the second link in the bio is the transcript of that podcast. So if you don't want to listen to it, you know, he has the whole conversation typed out. You can just go to that web address there and look through it. All right, so let's start getting into the notes here. I got a bunch of notes on the computer here. So I got some like kind of tips here saying basically kind of starting in how to start into it, instead of basically it's saying like what I've read into, you just don't want to jump into a dry fast if you never fasted before. But I'm gonna get all this. There's a couple little tips in here, what it's actually doing and benefits of it, any side effects of it, things like that. All right, so excuse me. Do an intermittent fast for a week in which you only eat 8 hours a day and spend 16 hours without eating, but drinking plenty of water. If you don't experience any adverse effects like headaches or excessive weaknesses in your body, you may be able to handle a dry fast. Because I don't want anybody going out there and, you know, getting messed up off this safety first with this stuff. It's always good to ease into anything if you're not used to doing anything. So dry fasting is a type of fast that doesn't allow any water intake. The lack of water may help accelerate some of the protective effects you get on a regular water fast, like reduced inflammation and metabolic health. Dry fasting is specifically associated with significantly reduced inflammation, lower blood pressure, and balanced glucose. 2 studies showing that there. You can dry fast like regular intermittent fasting for as little as 16 hours or up to days. Like I said, that guy in the Ben Greenfield Fitness podcast interview, he was talking about his protocol. He actually gets up, I think, to 3, 4, 5 days doing it. He does something called a absolute or a hard fast. I'm about to break this down here. There's 2 types of soft and absolute. Some sources make a distinction between a soft and absolute dry fast. A soft dry fast is a common fast that allows external contact with water, like showering, swimming, brushing your teeth. The absolute dry fast is an extreme approach in which you can't have any contact with water. So that's, you don't shower, you don't brush your teeth, you know, you don't swim, you have no contact with water. And that's what the guy in the podcast was doing. Saw all his health benefits with. But there's 2 options there. Even though most research on fasting has been done on water-based version, which like is regular fasting where you can drink water, emerging research as well as studies on religious dry fasts show some serious benefits to dry fasting. An intermittent dry fast can further intensify the cleansing process without dehydrating you. And that was the biggest thing I would think of right off the bat. You're not drinking any water for 16, 20, 24 hours, however long. Dehydration is the #1 thing. If you're exercising, you want to be hydrated as well. But very interesting stuff here I found that I did not know. Glad to bring this to y'all. So, limited fluid intake pushes your body to burn more fat since it can be used to produce metabolic water that your body makes internally. For every 100 grams of fat, your body can make 107 to 110 grams of water. That is crazy. It's crap. Your body actually turns your fat cells into water. For every 100 grams of fat, your body makes 107 to 110 grams of water, compared to only 60 grams from carbs and 42 grams of water from protein. So fats give you the most water inside your body, so it's going to accelerate that fat loss because it's breaking those down primarily. Since you won't be hydrating your body with external liquids, metabolic water is of extreme importance, and your body will strive to make it from fat at a higher rate than it would on water fast. Dry fasting in the ketogenic diet. Dry fasting on the keto diet is easier because you'll experience less hunger, less thirst, less discomfort, and your body can produce more metabolic water from fat. since a ketogenic diet, if you don't know what that is extremely high fats, and I think only like 10% of your calories from carbs, and the rest, you're getting in sufficient protein. So super high fat, very low carb, moderate protein. And Ben Greenfield as well, he is in the ketogenic state, but what he does no carbs all throughout the day, has his intense workout, then has up to like 150 grams of carbs right after that workout. And then he says, by the time it's the next morning, he's already in ketosis again, because he's, replenishing those glycogen stores right after the workout, as in you just eating carbs without actually really needing them to replenish your muscle cells, glycogen stores. So that's pretty interesting. I've never heard anybody else talk about that he's actually eating up to that many amount of carbs and still in a ketogenic state, like majority of the time. He's just knocked out of that meal for a little bit. Given that fat is necessary for a successful dry fast, it's ideal if you do it while following the ketogenic diet. Fasting on the keto diet is easier because you'll experience less hunger, less thirst, less discomfort, and your body can produce more metabolic water from it. Pop this on the screen here. The top 8 health benefits of dry fasting: enhanced cognitive function and protection, high anti-inflammatory activity, balanced lipids, glycemic control, diabetes prevention, lower blood pressure, prevention of coronary heart disease, bone health. And the website that I will link, I think this will be the 3rd link in the bio, goes into detail on how each of these are improved, like in the detail, exactly what's going on there. One of the biggest concerns about dry fasting is dehydration, what I was talking about a minute ago. You would think restricting water for half the day can't be good for you, right? But it's not that simple. Will I get dehydrated during a fast? Dehydration is a real threat if you don't eat a healthy diet before and after the fast, but it can be avoided if you practice the right habits. Another thing on the fat, how this is using fat to make water, I wouldn't recommend this if you're very lean for longer periods of time. Since it's using your fat cells, if you're an extremely lean person, then you're not gonna have as many fat cells, and then I would think maybe it would start tapping into your muscle cells and eating your muscles away if you did it for too long. I didn't see any research on that or anything mentioned about that, so just keeping that in mind. But I know a majority of people who are trying to do dry fasting, intermittent fasting, aren't super ripped people. You are trying to use this as a protocol to lose weight. Researchers studied people who fasted during Ramadan, which is a month-long intermittent dry fast, to measure the effects of dehydration on their metabolisms. Surprisingly, dehydration was either mild or non-existent. In one study, the concentration of urine samples collected in the afternoon was very high, which meant the body was effectively conserving water both by urinated concentration and lower urine quality. There was a study there showing that one. Perhaps the most fascinating findings came from Malaysian Muslims. Researchers found that total body water content was conserved during the fast despite the water restriction. Their bodies compensated the lack of water by minimizing water losses, which created internal balance. Studies showing that as well. The results is that the total body content remained roughly the same before, during, and after the dry fast. I'll pop this table up here. You can see the highlighted area there. These findings suggest that in a short dry fasting period, your body will work to balance its water content levels so you won't experience dehydration side effects. One of the possible side effects of dehydration is kidney stones. But studies find dry fasting isn't a risk factor for stones because the concentration of crystal-forming substances in urine actually decrease. There's a study there showing that. Wondering how your body can regulate itself when there's no water? It's explained in part by these 5 mechanisms. Water turnover rate, secretion of antidiuretic hormone or ADH, turning fat into water, the water levels that cause dehydration can vary, and increased water intake after the fast. Again, it goes into detail. There's more on the website. In summary, you most likely won't get dehydrated if you stick to an intermittent dry fasting instead of a prolonged, and consume plenty of fats and fluids before and after. Your body will help keep your water balance stable too. Here's the people that should not do dry fasting according to these websites here. People who have never tried water fast before, or those who have only done juice fasts. People who are prone to headaches or migraines because dry fast can trigger them. There's a study showing that. People dependent on stimulants like coffee and tea because the withdrawal during the fast can cause headaches and moodiness. Study of that one as well. People with dry eye syndrome, glaucoma, or cataracts. Dry fasting has been shown to exacerbate the symptoms in these conditions. Study for that one as well. A dry fast can be extremely harmful if you do it longer than a day, which I don't know how true that is, because I believe the guy in the podcast was doing it longer than a day. He's on a certain protocol, and he got that from some other person who was kind of helping him through it. So, not 100% sure about that one. This can cause serious dehydration, is what I'm saying. You're taking medication, but that does make sense. That, you know, it would make you dehydrated over a certain amount of time. But again, the build-up principle. If you constantly, you know, don't jump. That's why I said don't jump. That's why I'm saying don't jump right into a dry fast if you've never just done a regular fast before, with like being able to drink water, because you're skipping a whole like intermittent step. Like you work for this one, you ease into regular fasting, and then you can ease into dry fasting. You're taking medications. It's not advisable to fast while on medications unless you're supervised by a doctor. You try it without experimenting with other fasts first. What I just said, you're exposed to excessive heat or physical exertion. That's why I said I wouldn't think you shouldn't basically be like lifting or going to the sauna or anything while you're dry fasting. Maybe like a slight walk or something, but probably this should be on your off days if you're gonna do this. If you're pregnant women should only fast under doctor's orders. That'll be, I believe, the 4th website there. Last little bit here. The studies have shown that a single day of dry fasting is equal to about 3 days of water fasting because of the unique biological effects this sort of fast has on the body. One of the biggest benefits here is that the old dead water in the body is replaced with high quality living water, which the body itself synthesizes, which is where it has to go in to the fat cells and turn out the water. So that's it for the video here, man. Again, long term, you asked about doing it long term every day. Well, again, it comes back down to kind of how you're feeling. And again, that guy in the podcast was doing it multiple days, but he was kind of like on a cycle where he'd do like, might do a juice fast, water fast, dry fast for a day. And like he might cycle, then come back, do a dry fast for 2 days and 3 days. I forgot how many hours. I know for sure he said up to 72 hours. I believe he went more than that. But main thing here is with anything, go with how you feel, but keep in mind when you switch something that you're not used to doing, your body's probably gonna give you a little bit of fight back. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you've never done regular fasting before, a lot of people say they get headaches and stuff, or if you change to a ketogenic diet or a diet you're not used to, you know, your body's gonna feel weird for a while, but there's an adjustment period. Same thing I was doing with the 1 meal a day. There's a certain adjustment period. Your body adapts basically to any stressor you put to it. So, but there's that adjustment period, and then once it slowly adapts and gets more and more used to it, you start feeling normal there, and even better if, you know, because there's health benefit, a bunch of health benefits to fasting. So if you feel better there, run with it. You said you're doing it every day, man. I don't know if I'd be doing it every day, but again, I didn't find any. You said you're doing, I believe, 20 to 22 hours a day, and then you have your meal. I didn't see anything saying that you shouldn't do it every day, but I don't think it hurt. A lot of times with kind of anything, it's good to give it a break here and there. There's probably actually a lot of health benefits to doing that. Just like if people eat a regular diet, you know, eating throughout the day, it's really beneficial to even do a one time a week, 24-hour fast. So it's always good to, just like if you're lifting weights, it's always good to do like a higher rep day here and there, or just do a deload week. It's super beneficial. You're constantly going, and just like it's very beneficial if somebody's never going to the gym, to get into the gym every now and then, start, you know, building it up. It's very beneficial. But that's it, man. I hope that helped, and I hope that helps everybody else out there. Hope y'all learned something. I definitely learned something researching. I have any comments, any kind of questions y'all want to ask, anything health and fitness or anything, I'd be glad to help. I'll do the research for you, make the video for you, help y'all, help me grow together. Anyway, stay happy, stay healthy. Go make y'all some gains. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace out. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe as well. Been getting a lot of views, likes, and subscribers here recently. I really appreciate all the love. And make sure you hit, once you subscribe, hit the little notification bell, because I've been seeing how YouTube isn't showing people, subscribers, videos to them. So who you're subscribed to videos. So if you want to make sure you get my videos, which I'm constantly uploading, I have like literally limitless amounts of ideas I have written down in my head and stuff. So constantly videos are gonna be coming. Let's just grow together. So make sure you hit that bell, make sure you're notified, be up to date, because like I said, they're constantly coming. But I appreciate all the love, everybody. Again, stay healthy. Peace out. Go make y'all some gains. Peace out.